Your kid just said, "It's fine, I'll handle it," again. Backpack still on, shoes half off. No argument, no negotiation, just compliance. So convincing, nobody looks twice. That's not independence. That's adaptation. A child who learned that needing anything changes the room. If that feels familiar, you're either raising them or you were them. Feels like you did something right until they're anxious with a LinkedIn profile. And if you miss this, you don't lose the behavior. You lose access to them. 5 patterns, including ones teachers call maturity, that decide whether your easy kid builds a life or grows up performing one. 1. The rule their brain wrote without telling you. Their brain wasn't tracking your intentions. It was tracking your face. Every time they came home with a good grade, handed you something without a fuss, made you proud at a family dinner, your energy lifted. You texted your dad. You told a story at the barbecue like it was a sports highlight. The house felt lighter in a way that everyone could sense, but nobody named. You hugged them a little longer. Maybe you didn't even notice you did it. Every time they came home with something disappointing, a bad test, a rough day, a meltdown they couldn't hold together, the energy shifted. You weren't cruel. You weren't even angry. But something went quieter, flatter, slightly cooler in a way that had nothing to do with temperature. They noticed. Not consciously. Not like, father's emotional temperature has shifted. More like internal Wi-Fi signal dropped 1 bar. And suddenly, they're buffering their whole personality before entering the room. Kids read parental emotion like weather. Constantly, automatically, without deciding to. And they always knew when something shifted before anything was said. So, their brain learned the rule. When I perform well, warmth arrives. When I don't, warmth becomes uncertain. Love, clear enough to follow, unstable enough to never feel secure. You didn't write that rule. Their brain wrote it because their brain's entire job is figuring out where safety lives, and it found an answer. Approval, love, but subscription-based. Free trial ended somewhere around year 6. And once a kid learns that rule, they start managing something you never asked them to manage. Your feelings. Meanwhile, you're still trying to figure out how to not take things personally. When they bring you bad news, do you stay the same temperature? Or do they already know the answer before they finish the sentence? You're not doing anything. You're just human. But kids that age are running continuous diagnostics on the people they need most. And the result keeps coming back the same. From your side, you were a present, responsive parent who celebrated their wins. From their side, love just got a job description, entry-level position, requirements, never mess up. Benefits, unclear. Long-term studies show the same pattern. When love feels tied to performance, self-worth follows it. The love was real. The rule got written anyway. And once a rule like that gets written, it doesn't stay in your house. It goes where they go. You're not watching a face. You're watching a blueprint being installed. And if this feels familiar, not from your child, but from you, that's not a coincidence. Most parents didn't invent this pattern. They inherited it. 2. What looking fine is actually costing them. Their actual feelings, the frustration, the sadness, the days when things are just hard, don't disappear. They just switch to incognito mode because their brain filed a report at some point. The messy version of me makes the room feel different. So they learn to have the feeling quietly, clean it up before anyone notices, and present the version that keeps things warm. This is the part everyone mistakes for maturity. Because nothing says healthy child like emotional tax evasion. Teachers write it in report cards. Other parents cite it as evidence parenting is an art form. You've probably gotten credit for raising a kid who just handles things, and nothing looked wrong, so you took the compliment. What's actually running is a continuous background scan. What version of me is safe to show right now? They've already calculated whether now is a good time before the question has even formed in their mouth. Like tiny emotional accountants, we regret to inform you that this is not a good time to have feelings. They're basically running customer service on themselves. They didn't become low maintenance. They became low visible. They pause at the top of the stairs and listen to your tone before coming down. Just buffering, waiting for the vibe to load. Rewriting the entrance the way you rewrite a 2-line email 6 times so nobody detects a tone. And the thing nobody mentions is how much energy this takes. Calibrating every entrance, editing every feeling before it reaches the surface. That's not free. Full-time job. No pay. Occasionally, good kid review. It looks like maturity. It's actually emotional math. And they rarely tell anyone they're doing it. That scan doesn't turn off when they turn 18. It doesn't turn off when they move out, get a job, or build a life that looks completely put together from the outside. They take it with them, and it runs on everyone. Congratulations, the family software update has now gone cross-platform, and this is where almost every parent gets this completely wrong. This doesn't create a fragile child. It creates a highly functional adult who looks completely fine while falling apart, which is so much harder to see and so much harder to reach. If you're still feeling defensive here, excellent. That's usually where change starts. 3. The rule that didn't disappear. It just changed jobs. Fast forward 20 years, same kid, just with email anxiety now. That quiet rule didn't disappear. It just found a new place to run. It shows up in adult life in one of 2 forms. Most easy kids become one or the other. Some manage both, or alternate Tuesdays. The first is the overachiever who physically cannot slow down. More output, more wins, more plates in the air, not because they love the work, but because stillness feels the way the room felt when they stopped performing. If they relax, their brain goes, bold strategy, let's see how this ruins your life. Stopping doesn't register as rest. It registers as the moment before something gets cold. So they keep moving, keep producing, keep adding to the list. From the outside, it looks like ambition. From the inside, it's maintenance, keeping approval from disappearing. The second is the guy who smooths everything over in every meeting, every argument, every group chat, says yes when he means no, saying no worries when there are, in fact, several worries, typing a message, deleting it, typing it again, softer, adding an emoji so it doesn't sound like a threat, apologizing in conversations where nobody accused him of anything. Then, sitting in his car in the parking garage after work, replaying the conversation he just surrendered. Director's cut, extended edition, no new information. Same operating system, new workplace, worse coffee. They look like completely different people. Different jobs, different problems, different lives. Same scan running underneath both of them. The scan didn't stop. It just got promoted. Same questions circling quietly at 3 a.m. Am I still okay? Am I about to disappoint someone? Did I just lose ground? The people pleaser who folds in every conflict isn't weak. They're doing exactly what worked for 20 years. Keeping the room warm by editing themselves first. The overachiever who can't stop isn't driven. They're keeping ahead of the quiet. Here's the part that's actually uncomfortable. They got very, very good at reading you. The kid who learned to sense your mood before entering a room became the adult who reads every room before entering it. The skill that kept him safe at 9 is the skill wearing him out at 34. They didn't invent it. They learned it in your house, in totally ordinary moments, in a home where the love was absolutely real. 4. What actually changes this? So what actually changes a rule this old? Not what most parents think. Not a speech, not a breakthrough conversation. Usually something far less cinematic. If this landed heavy, stay with that. Parents who feel nothing here aren't about to change anything. The ones sitting with the discomfort might. The goal isn't to stop being proud of them. We're just removing the emotional performance bonus. A dad, call him Marcus, realized he'd been measurably quieter on bad grade days for years. His son had never said anything, never complained, just quietly concluded that's how love worked. Marcus started making random Tuesday calls. No agenda, no check-in on anything. Just, I was thinking about you. How's it actually going? His son called back 2 weeks later and said it so carefully it barely sounded like a complaint. I didn't know you were interested in me when I wasn't achieving something. Marcus cried in his truck, which is a very long way of saying this wasn't a communication problem. It was a pattern problem. The whole fix is embarrassingly unsexy. Call him on a Tuesday when nothing happened. Notice the thing that doesn't have a grade attached. That's it. That's the entire intervention. Would your child come to you on their worst day or their most impressive one? That's the data. That's the whole diagnostic. Their brain wrote that rule across years of small, ordinary moments. A new rule gets built exactly the same way. One Tuesday call with no agenda. One thing noticed out loud. One moment of warmth that has absolutely nothing to show for itself. 5. What this actually produces. Children who grow up knowing love is steady, not performance dependent, just reliably there, develop real confidence after failure, genuine resilience, and the capacity for honest relationships rather than managed ones. Your kid's still in there. They just need enough evidence, collected slowly, that the struggling version of them gets the same warmth as the successful one. The scan slows down. The room stops feeling like something they have to manage. That changes something achievement never could, and it doesn't require a single large gesture. It requires a pattern, a quieter one, built the same way the original was, slowly, without announcement, in ordinary moments that don't feel like they matter. Because those moments are where kids decide whether love is something they have or something they have to earn, and then spend the rest of their life trying to keep.